going to have a date here in a second. It's February 17th.
17th.
I can't remember everything. Things like the date. You can't always do that. I'd like to welcome our Vice Chairwoman Knoll to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation, please.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will everyone please bow your heads for a word of prayer?
Let me get your mic.
Okay, is that it?
There you go. Yep.
All right. Oh, thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, we give thanks for the people of Chattanooga, for every neighborhood, every family, every elder, and every child who calls this city home. Today we lift up our entire community. We also lift up Mayor Tim Kelly, this council family, and the entire administration. Grant us wisdom, clarity, and compassion as we lead. We pray for safety in our streets, hopes in our homes, and opportunity in every zip code. Heal what is broken, unite what is divided, and help us always to put people first. Lord, give us and bring back to our remembrance Proverbs chapter 26, verse 27. Help us to keep it in the forefront of our minds, Lord. If you dig a ditch, you better dig two, because you will fall in it. Let that remain with us as we lead fairly, build bridges, and lift up everyone in our community. And as we move forward, remind us that we are strong when we stand together. Amen.
Amen. Okay, council, we have no special presentations today. Can I get a motion on the minutes, please? Thank you. The minutes will stand without objection. All right, council, let's take a look at today's agenda, please. We have a couple of things on final reading. I do intend to take the planning items B through G as a package, unless anyone says that they have an issue doing that. If you have anything that you need pulled from that planning group, please go ahead and hit your light now so we'll know. Okay, we look good on that. Looking at items under first reading, we have some items in District 5 under Public Works. We have a planning item. Vice Chairwoman Knoll, I think you had something you wanted to share with us about that planning item, item C.
Yes. We are going to, that's in my district here. Let me make sure I'm in the right one. Is that C? I'm sorry, give me a minute. Yes. Okay, that is a property that's located at the 2003 Wilcox Boulevard. So it is my intention to council family to deny that. We had a neighborhood association meeting last night, a rather heated one. And the consensus was that they did not want what was being presented to them at that time. So it is my intention to deny.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can we go back up to Public Works, please?
Yes.
Someone could help me from my remembrance, Jay. Is Maplewood Avenue the property behind Harbor Freight? I can't remember what this is.
Let me pull it up.
This is I think this is the one where there's a land swap and a land sale.
It is, yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So that has been worked out. So
Okay.
I just did not recognize, I didn't know that was called Maplewood Avenue. And so, Madam Chair, I plan to support this in our Beyond the Agenda discussion today. Thank you.
Okay, so looking then at resolutions, council, we do have the item about council rules of operation. Councilwoman Dotley.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. After reviewing the council rules, I still had concerns about the alternate version number 2, specifically under chairperson. The current version 2 states should preside at all meetings of the council and/or provide for the election of a chairperson pro tem to preside at particular meetings. But our charter says that person should be elected at a particular meeting in the absence of the chairperson and vice chairperson. So I would like to offer an amendment to that to read more into our charter as opposed to the and/or statement, because the and/or statement alludes to absent chair providing for the selection of a chairperson pro tem. And it just, the intent, I don't know what the intent is. I just know it doesn't seem to match with section 8.3. So I want to make sure, because, and it takes, from my reading of it, and I'm not sure of anybody else's, it takes away from the democratic process for those council members that are here. And we don't ever want to do that. So if the council's okay, I would like to provide an amendment that says under section 1A that says for chairpersons preside at all meetings of the council, and the chairperson, as a separate sentence, chairperson pro tem shall be elected to preside at a particular meeting in the absence of the chairperson and vice chairperson pursuant to section 8.3 of the city charter. That way it aligns directly with our city charter as opposed to the and/or statement that is not in our city charter. So that is, I guess, my question to the council, and a recommendation I would like to make is an amendment to make sure we are in direct alignment with our charter.
Will you read that amendment one more time, please, Councilwoman?
Sure, yes. So it'd be that first sentence, chairperson under there preside at all meetings.
Of the council, period, right?
Yes, of the
Okay,
council, yes, I'm
okay.
sorry, preside at all meetings of the council,
Okay.
period. Then the chairperson pro tem shall be elected to preside at a particular meeting in the absence of the chairperson and vice chairperson pursuant to section 8.3 of the city charter.
Okay,
Okay, so that's an amendment I plan on.
Yes.
thank you, Councilman. Mr. Attorney?
Yes.
Does that work for you?
That'll be
I
fine.
think that's where you were trying to head.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you. Council, do we have any other questions, ideas, feedback on this item? Okay. All right then, thank you very much, Councilwoman Dotley.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note. Okay. Okay, economic development, we have a few resolutions, council. My intent is to take those as a package. Councilman Harvey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, encourage my colleagues on the council to vote in the affirmative for item B for a new park in District 4. Very excited about that, to add to Heritage Park that we have out there now, but to have another green space for our folks to enjoy would be excellent. So I encourage everyone to vote in the affirmative. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Clark.
Thank you, Chairwoman Hill. I do plan to vote in the affirmative to support this, but when it says real property, does that mean there's a structure at 1816 Gray Road? Is that why it's described as real property? What is it?
We don't have to.
So, but is it when it says for the consideration of 1.3 million, we're purchasing that piece of land for 1.3 million?
Yes.
Okay.
15 acres.
Gotcha. And that's what I did not see in the language in the resolution. Not that it's necessary, but it probably would have been nice to, $1.3 million for dirt is a lot, but for 15 acres, I would assume that that's what market value is for that area. It's a good deal. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And that is a 50-50 match, Councilman.
Thank you.
A match with who?
Wait, I was like, since you want to speak up, a match from who?
Come to the mic, please.
Thank you for the question, Councilman Darren Lutz, Deputy Chief of Staff. That is a TDEC grant we received for $800,000 with a matching grant for $800,000, and we do have the funds in our capital budget for Parks and Outdoors.
Wait, so, sorry.
I think we're thinking the same thing, because
So-
this is worded very oddly, but
So we're putting in 800, TDEC is putting in 800?
We have all the funds, though. We have the grant money. It is in our budget, so we're purchasing it, yes.
Yes, okay.
so, but when it says for the consideration of 1.3, that is the total of the matching, is that what you're saying? Can someone help? So the 1.3 million, you said there's matching,
Yes.
and so does that?
We have the matching funds. I got here
And
before,
I'm
I got here
speaking
before
towards
April
the,
did, so.
I'm not mathing in my head, so,
I think some confusion was injected into this.
Okay.
April, will you please just
Yep.
talk us
April
through this
1st,
resolution?
Administrator for Parks and Outdoor for the city. So it was an 800 from TDEC. The total acquisition has not happened, but as it will be for 1.6 or 1.3. And we have all the funds. We already had the funds, the matching funds we already had in our capital budget, and then the state gave us the matching funds for that.
to total 1.3.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, gotcha. And so when you say matching, is that we took in the grant from the state, put our money with it?
Correct.
And it totaled 1.3?
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why that was so hard.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Madam Chair, that concludes my questions on that. That makes sense to me now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we've got an item in the mayor's office. We have a couple parks and public works, a wastewater item, and a planning item. Councilwoman Dotley.
Yes, thank you so much, Madam Chair. Regarding the planning item, I wanted to, I read the statement a couple of weeks ago, when it first came up on, I believe, on future considerations. I want to read it again into the record since it's up for a vote today. I do plan to move to deny this particular item, JK of America Corporation, DBA Big Papa Quick Mart, noting the following. Based on a review of the crime statistics within a 1/2 mile radius of 4107 Dodge Avenue and the standards set forth in Chapter 5, Section 5-109C2 of the Chattanooga City Code, I cannot support approval of a liquor store at this location. According to data provided by the Chattanooga Police Department, there were 265 index criminal incidents and 3,468 calls for service within a 1/2 mile radius of this site over the past year. Notably, the area experienced 51 drug offenses, 29 aggravated assaults, 27 burglaries, 9 weapon offenses, and 7 robberies, along with 22 narcotics-related calls for service and 20 drug overdose calls. This level and concentration of criminal activity demonstrates an area already under significant public safety strain. Chapter 5, Section 5-109C2 requires the city council to consider whether a proposed liquor store is consistent with the intent of the ordinance to promote public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. In my judgment, introducing a new liquor store at this location within an area experiencing elevated drug, violent crime, and disorder-related activity is inconsistent with that intent. The addition of a liquor store presents a reasonable likelihood of exacerbating existing public safety challenges rather than alleviating them. For these reasons, and in consideration of the surrounding neighborhood's existing conditions, I cannot support a liquor store at 4107 Dodge Avenue as it does not adequately advance the public health, safety, and general welfare of the community as required by city code. So I do plan to move to deny on that item based on those facts. Okay, thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, council, let's take a look at our purchases for today. We have 4 purchases for today. We do not have any other purchases to consider related to renewals, emergency purchases, RFP requests, or sole source purchases. Do we have any questions or comments about the purchases for today? Councilman Davis.
Yeah, no questions, but just a comment on that second item there for Parks and Outdoors. I just noticed that the initial price increase was 5%, and it was negotiated down to 2.7. And I've noticed that several times in our purchasing notes, and that's really great to see. So just wanted to thank our purchasing department for negotiating on behalf of the city to get the best deal possible. That's outstanding.
Thank you very much. Thank you for elevating that, Councilman. Okay, looks like we are good on questions about purchases. So let's take a look at our 2-week agenda, please, council. Taking a look past the final reads, we do not have any items on first read. We do have a couple of resolutions, not very many. Do we have any questions or comments? We did have a discussion, or I have spoken with our city attorney about item C to get a little bit more clarity in that caption, to make sure that we have the language that, or no, you're not going to change the caption, you're going to provide us additional documentation that will include the interlocal agreement, council, so you can see the sales tax agreement that's going to be part of that transaction.
It should be in the most recent version of your agenda.
Terrific. If you haven't clicked the link recently, click it again and it will be there. That's great. Okay, future considerations. Councilman Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 17A under Council Office. Mr. Stallings has reached out to me and said that he would not be seeking another term for the Head Start Board. So we just need to remove that from our future considerations.
Okay, thank you. You good? Councilman Elliott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Under Public Works, item 3, could somebody explain this a little bit to me?
Yes, actually, when we talked about this in agenda planning, this is item 3 about ponds. And we had
Yes.
discussed that many of our council folks had not gotten the opportunity to hear all about ponds and pond maintenance.
Yes.
And that we would need some conversation. So we'd like to welcome somebody up.
This is still on. Hey, Chairwoman Jenny, can you clear my board? Can you clear my board?
Thank you for joining us. Madam Clerk, let's take item 7A, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 4, which chapter is known as the Chattanooga Air Pollution Control Bureau Ordinance by providing for increased permit and certificate fees.
Second.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor with the proper second. Do you have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, Madam Clerk, I'd like to take planning items B through G as a package, please.
Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located at 1815, 1819, 1823, and 1829 Jenkins Road from RN16 Residential Neighborhood Zone to TRN2 Traditional Residential Neighborhood Zone, subject to certain conditions. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 8476 East Brainerd Road from RN16 Residential Neighborhood Zone to CTMU Traditional Mixed-Use Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions. Item D, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 4412 Dodge Avenue from RN15 Residential Neighborhood Zone to CTMU Traditional Mixed-Use Commercial Zone, subject to certain conditions. Item E, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located at 1810 South Kelly Street and unaddressed properties in the 1800 block of South Kelly Street and the 2100 block of East 19th Street from RN2 Residential Neighborhood Zone to TRN3 Traditional Residential Neighborhood Zone Development, subject to certain conditions. Item F, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance as adopted by ordinance number 14137 on July 23, 2024, Article 14, Administrators, Section 3869, Board of Appeals. Item G, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance as adopted by ordinance number 14137 on July 23, 2024, more specifically, Article 2, definitions related to the flood hazard regulations.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Council, can I get a motion?
Second.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Madam Clerk, ordinances under first reading, item 8A, please.
Could you repeat that for me?
Item 8A.
An ordinance closing and abandoning a portion of the unopened right-of-way in the 4200 block of Bonnie Oaks Drive as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. This is in District 5.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Do I have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item B, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning an unopened right-of-way in the 400 block of Maplewood Avenue as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. This is in District 5.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Do I have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item C, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 2003 Wilcox Boulevard from RN15 Residential Neighborhood Zone to TRN3 Traditional Neighborhood Residential Zone, subject to certain conditions.
Thank you. This is planning item 2025-0152. Is the applicant present?
We are.
Thank you. Do we have any opposition present? Councilwoman Knoll, would you like to see a presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, ma'am.
We're going to get a presentation. Councilwoman Knoll's going to do a presentation, not from you, from our staff member.
Okay.
I'll give you an opportunity to speak in a minute. Thank you.
This is case 2025-0152 at 2003 Wilcox Boulevard. Just to help you orient, before we go into the case details, this is the former church site on Wilcox Boulevard. This is looking from Wilcox and then looking at the site from Roanoke Avenue. The applicant is requesting a rezoning from RN15 Residential Neighborhood Zone to TRN3 Traditional Residential Neighborhood Zone, and it's for a 4-story multi-unit residential development. There's no recent zoning history for the site, and nearby property is zone RN15, as is the site, and that's shown as light yellow on the map. The Avondale Rec Center is the green Parks and Rec Zone to the southeast of the site. The site's surrounded by single-unit detached residential land uses. That's reflective of that RN15 zone. There are some 2-unit duplex residential uses north and east of the site on Brand Street, but there are no multi-unit residential uses, land uses adjacent to the site. Staff did note that the site is an existing vacant non-residential use as of right now. The plan, the adopted plan for the area notes, recommends introducing multi-unit residential zoning at this location. That mixed residential place type from the River to Ridge area plan is intended to provide a wide range of housing options for residents at various stages of life and walkable destinations in close proximity to each other. This is a secondary use in the plan. There's a few more characteristics that get reviewed. One of those is its location on we call them A streets. Those are major streets. And this site is on one of those major streets, that being Wilcox Boulevard. Staff did note that the proposed building height proposes compatibility concerns with adjacent 1-story residential units, and staff recommended approval with a condition of maximum building height. There was opposition present at Planning Commission. There's concern about demoing the building, concerns about health and safety, most specifically asbestos was mentioned at Planning Commission. There was some discussion with Planning Commission about that. Planning Commission determined the request is compatible with the historic River to Ridge area plan, development form, and adjacent land uses, and recommends approval with maximum building height of 4 stories or 50 feet.
Okay, thank you. Council, do we have any questions before we invite our applicant up to speak? Okay, for our applicant, we would typically allow 7 minutes and then give our opposition 9 minutes and then applicant 2 minutes. As we have no opposition today, we don't have any opposition to this case, correct? I see some people looking around. This is case 2025-0152. Do we have any opposition to that case? No. Okay, so you'll have 9 minutes to present your case. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Jim McCoon. I'm a local attorney here in town. I represent Chattanooga Development, which is the applicant in this matter. We were involved in this because we've worked a lot in mixed additional or reuse of projects that exist in Chattanooga. We're currently in council involved in working with the stadium, with the city and their project. We did Wheel and Foundry, and we're still doing additional parts of the U.S. Pipe site. So we've got the experience in reuse and look at trying to preserve heritage sites and how they can be used. We were contacted by the developer and owner for this purpose here with respect to this church. The church was, as I recall, was constructed in 1919 and has long been a part of that community. Preliminary investigation indicates that the structure can be reused and will support the additional use that was intended with respect to condominiums. We don't know how many units there will be because of the restrictions that were put on by the Planning Commission, but because we had proposed a total of 4 stories completely, they've got us 3 stories with conditions. That will be part of the process once we get the zoning in place so that we can go forward and see what actually we can do and get approved with the city as far as the site goes. The big part about this is the costs estimated a year ago were $16 million to do this project in Avondale. With the tariffs and what has occurred in the construction industry, we expect this project's going to run $20 million. A $20 million investment in Avondale is exactly what that community needs. We're trying to, the community says they're trying to improve the situation there. My clients want to see an opportunity and a future there. And so that's one of the big parts about it. Ms. Noel's already advised that she intends to oppose this proposition based upon the community meeting. There were 4 residents of the community at that meeting last night. 4 residents. What this council needs to know, and as the city attorney knows, is this property is currently under demolition order. We've got litigation in Chancery Court where the chancellor issued an injunction with the agreement of the city to forbear from demolition to move forward with this project. There were concerns from Councilwoman Noel last night that this would continue to languish. My clients bought it in 2016. So that will continue to languish. Chancellor right now is holding status conferences quarterly, if not earlier. She is staying on up there at the injunction hearing. There was a construction timeline discussed once the permits were obtained. She is continually keeping the attorneys, one from the city attorney's office and myself, up there for status conferences to make sure what's happening and that it does not languish. This project can either be built or be demolished. There's no other choice with the chancellor overseeing it. Those are the only 2 options we have. There is no languishing. It will no longer continue to be a piece of property sitting there with no activity. And the issue here before this council is whether or not you want to approve this going forward so that we have an opportunity to invest the $20 million into Avondale and try to do and these are opportunities for equity. Right now, the project has condominiums in this project. So there'll be an opportunity for home equity, which based upon the demographics I've researched and seen, is the minority of Avondale. Most of Avondale are rental units. The homes that are in there, the single-family homes, are all leased and rented. This gives opportunity for that community to have equity in their homes in that community. And so it makes sense. It's the first thing that happened to develop Main Street. We put in condos and apartments and services came there and the community changed and it's now one of the hottest spots in Chattanooga. The opportunities there to do the same thing. We're trying to provide updated new housing in that area. And that's the sole purpose of the project. And really that's the presentation. I mean, there's not much more you can say about it. It's under control of the chancellor. So the public's protected, and the city attorney's involved in everything we do up there. You've got a project that, if it goes forward, is going to be a significant financial investment in a community that needs a financial investment. And it's an opportunity to continue to grow, and it'll be basically catty-corner just down the street from the community center where the city invested so much, almost the same amount of money in building a community center. So it would be really the jewels of that community. So it's an opportunity.
Is this the only drawing we have of the $20 million investment that we have on our screen?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. There, I've got, do you have a color? I've got a black and white. Now, these were renderings with it being 4 stories and before the planning commission put its conditions. So this is from a year ago.
Condition is 4 stories and 50 feet right now. That's the condition.
There's drawings throughout there, but that's the first one.
Mr. McCoon, the condition, at least on this ordinance, is 4 stories or 50 feet maximum. So that's the condition.
I understand, but as was discussed there, that at the planning commission, they were, as I understood it, wanting us to try to hold the 3 stories.
That's not what we've got on the
Okay.
ordinance. Karen can let you see it.
Okay. So you have two minutes and 40 seconds. Do you have anything more you'd like to add?
I'm sorry, was the question asked?
Yeah, do you have anything more you'd like to add before I open up the floor for question and comment?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Vice Chairwoman Knoll, your mic is live, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What is your name, Mr. McCoon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Attorney McCoon. You missed several neighborhood meetings where there was more than 4 residents.
I was only been to one, and that was the one last night that we
Okay,
were invited
but I'm
to.
telling you.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm telling you that there was more. That was not the first time that they did not want housing that was expressed at those meetings. Okay, so now, Anyone that knows me know I'm going to roll with my people. Now, you all have owned that property, you said, since 2016,
16.
and I thought it was longer than that, but even still, it has been opportunity after opportunity to do something with that piece of property. It was a excuse every single time. It was deferred for me. I don't have enough people. We need to wait until Sam get here. Then we need this and we need that. And I have accommodated you all in every single way. You have not showed me that you're going to do exactly what you say you're going to do. And the constituents and the people of Avondale has spoke. They do not want condominiums that they made the statement last night that they cannot afford to live in. You said that this is what Avondale's need. No, they don't. That's not what they need. The only person that's going to benefit from that is the developer. It is not going to benefit Avondale in any shape, form, or fashion. And I asked you last night, if you said they build, they will come, what will come? I'm still waiting for you to give me an answer. What will come to Avondale if they build? You compared it to Main Street. Main Street is downtown. They have had businesses all up and down that street. It's apple and oranges. We are talking about Avondale community. You said build it and they'll come. I want you to tell me what will come and how it would benefit us.
Ma'am, you indicated last night that you needed dry cleaners. If you have a additional population in that area and people that are building in there, then the dry cleaners will come to serve the community. There'll be someone that will come in with the dry cleaners. A restaurant will come. Someone will come in there. That's the type of services that I expect will come into that community.
What business do you own there now, sir?
I don't own anything there.
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, who owns the building? Are you related to the one that owns the service station in the Little Caesar Pizza?
It's one of the investors' businesses.
Okay, the same investor that's a part of this piece of property here?
Yes.
Okay. No.
Okay, we've got some other, do you want to have some other questions?
Yes, if they,
Okay.
the other council.
Okay, Councilwoman Dotley.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Though this is not District 7, I grew up in District 8, and I grew up right watching that building be what it is now. So my question is, you mentioned that it was in demolition court, and you've had it since 2016. Why is it in demolition court? When did it go? Can you give me a brief timeline of that?
I wasn't involved in that part of it.
Okay.
But it's my understanding Walter Williams, when he was on the court, had looked at it and stuff. So it had started, I think, even before my clients ever had it. It was in demolition court. As far as Walter Williams, when he was city judge, even held status, as I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is it went through in 2024, I believe, was when it started for serious this time. Mr. Noblet may know better than I. And in late 2024, there was an order issued, suit was filed, a TRO was issued, and then an injunction was issued. I was hired because of the potential reuse opportunities. We hired Labella Engineering, which is also the engineering on the stadium site and the like, and US Pipe and stuff. And we saw an opportunity for the reuse. And that's where it's gone from there, so my involvement. And as far as saying that in the past, nobody's done anything, right now we've got a chancellor. Chancellor Flainer is on top of this file. She's watching it and everything, and as I said, and as city attorney will know, we will not have an opportunity not to continue this project. The project will either go forward or it'll be demolished.
Okay.
Those are the only two options available at the stage we're in.
So can I ask the investor or owner, you've had this since 2016. Why now? Why did it take 9 years to get to this place?
Basically because we were waiting for the right time to get and invest into the property. And we always wanted to save the structure because we've always known that the structure is overall safe and there's no issues. So we want to keep that in the community as that building has been there since 1919. So we want to save as much of it as possible instead of just demolishing it. And I know this came up yesterday that, we could just demolish it, but it would actually cost us less money to demolish it than to rebuild it or renovate it now. So, we're trying to keep part of that building and because of the history and the charm that it has. But yeah, the only reason we didn't do anything was because there wasn't much going on in the community at that time. And now we're asking, for permission to rezone it so that we can make some more housing. And the initial plans that we submitted, those are just initial plans. And, we actually didn't know the process of going to the community meetings and then getting approval from the members and all that. So that's the only reason we didn't show up to any of the previous meetings. We went through with La Bella, how they said, this is what we do. They handled all the work.
Okay, and what good faith efforts have you shown so far? Because you've had the building since 2016. You all doing nothing to that building has contributed to the blight of that corner. I mean, literally, it looks terrible. I ride past there all the time. I lived out there for a long time. I grew up out there, walked past that church when it was actually a church. So you've contributed to the blight for all these years. What good faith efforts have you shown in the last 9 years you've had it? Have you added some window? Have you done anything to keep people out of? I know it caught fire a couple years ago, and it looked just like it caught fire right now when I ride by it. What good faith efforts have you shown over the last 9 years that will make me want to trust you to do this project?
Well, ma'am, city inspector and our firm and the assistant city attorney, have we worked through making sure that it's boarded, that it's secure, that we meet with the code obligations with respect to the empty property at the time? We've done that.
And I'm gonna be done with this, just because you met code obligations and because of the community itself, it is a predominantly African-American community, predominantly moderate to low income community, and you all were okay with it sitting there boarded up at a core intersection at Roanoke and Wilcox. Is that right, Wilcox? Yes. At that corner, and you all were okay with that. And that is a problem for me. So maybe it does need to be torn down. So that is my statement to you all, and because you didn't care for 9 years to do anything until demolition court has made you do something. And you were not, and more than likely you would let sit there another 9 years if demolition court didn't make you and you wasn't here, so I can't say to you, but you should do the community better. Y'all let that sit there until somebody made you do something. And so now you've made us do something, made me do something, and now I have to come in here and vote on this, knowing that I watched that community go through what it's gone through. And that intersection could be a great area of commerce. You chose not to do that. Instead, you chose to follow code and keep it boarded up because that's what those people deserve. So that is my comment. Thank you so much. If you can't tell, I'm very upset about that. Because that's my neighborhood that I grew up in. And that is bothersome to hear you all sit down there and talk like the people don't matter. So you can go right ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Madam Chair. No, I'm done. I don't want to hear it.
Councilman Clark.
Thank you. Mr. Coons, I too grew up in this neighborhood, at the 3200 block of Dodson. My grandparents still live there, and I share the sentiment of my colleagues, but I also believe in private property rights. I've had the opportunity to go through this similar process in my district just 2 days ago, where we're considering development. And Karen, I'm going to ask you to join them at the podium because this is going to be a question about the RN1-5. But I do want to say, when you bought it 10 years ago, it was dilapidated then. It's been dilapidated long before. And honestly, it's your right to do whatever you want to do with the property. You cannot build, or you could build. But I think we have to consider that for a long time, we all use that as a thoroughway into my district. And it's an eyesore. I don't know why you had to wait on a court order to demolish it, but I think it needs to be demolished. But I think there's an opportunity for development because something needs to go there that benefits the community. And I don't think it's condos. So my question to Karen, for your consideration, is that it is RN1-5. Karen, what are the allowable types? I know there's a street, and can someone go back to the picture in the corner where it shows what is RN1-5 near it? It's a couple slides back. It shows how the properties are zoned around it.
I'm
It's
having,
residential, but you mentioned something about duplexes. Okay, if it's not working, that's fine. So my question is that have you considered building on that site what it is currently allowed for? And Karen, where are the duplexes on Brad Street?
I think our staff report says there's 2 on Brant, but let me.
Are you saying Brad,
There
or
are
what?
2-unit residential uses north and east of the site on Brant Street.
Brad. We from that block. We know it's pronounced Brad.
Yes, thank you.
It's okay. So does that zone type RN1-5 allow for those duplexes?
It does not allow the creation of new duplexes. So much of the portions of the River to Ridge area were part of a rezoning process in the 2000s. So it would reference the earlier. We have noted there's no recent zoning history of the site. In the RN15 is the prior
Gotcha.
version of the
That's
R1
okay.
zone.
I just heard you in
single-family.
your presentation saying there were duplexes
Yes.
in the RN1-5.
And they can continue that use, but they
Because
would
they're
not, you
grandfathered
cannot construct new duplexes in that zone.
Okay, so my question to Mr. Coons, and so I want to address you by your proper name.
DJ?
DJ. Have you all considered site plans to be submitted to Councilwoman, Vice Council Chair Noel and her community of what you could build in its current zoning phase? Have you all considered a community meeting to say, hey, I want to invite you all in, tell me what you would like to do, because I would have appreciated maybe some affordable housing types, because we're doing that in my district, because that's a need in District 5, and the people loved it. But you could have come and said, hey, I want to build what's there, but maybe I do want to put some affordable housing at the top, some commercial at the bottom, and you could have took that conversation to the community, and perhaps maybe that's something we would have considered, but condos just seems way out of whack for not just her district, but mine as well. So my question to you is that have you done your proper research on the current zone to submit site plans for what you can currently build it for? And if not, why not?
Because we still got the structure there.
But the structure, regardless, if whatever the type is, still needs to be torn down. And I know you are an expert in reuse. The reuse in this case, I think is irrelevant. We don't want to reuse an eyesore. So my question to you again, have you considered what is currently zoned for, not for reuses purposes?
No, we've been looking at it from a standpoint of reusing the structure that exists.
Yeah, for me, reuse says continuity of the eyesore. And you're saying that the reuse is to multi-purpose it to condos, which is not a fit for that community. So I threw you a lifeline in saying that if you would consider.
Well, I didn't say we wouldn't consider it.
Well, I think you should, because we're probably about to vote this down.
Well,
because
no, I mean, if that's the option, we're happy to defer this and try to come up with another plan. I mean, that's an option that, I mean, my clients, I'm sure would consider.
I think that was probably something you probably should have considered prior to this reading, in the prior community meetings. But I would have loved to have seen, because actually, if this does fail, you don't have to come back before council for us to reconsider those options, because it's already zoned RN1-5. Just so you know. But regardless of the point.
But that, as I understand, that is the effectively single-family housing.
That's what Karen just reiterated.
Right,
That is
I
correct.
understand.
So that would probably been the pleasure of the council, and probably that community had that conversation happen in the aforementioned. So anyway, I yield back to the chair. Thank you.
You want to hear that? Vice Chairwoman Knoll, be interested in calling for a motion?
I am motion. I thank my colleagues for their input. I really appreciate it, and I make a motion to deny.
Okay, council, we have a motion on the floor to deny with the proper second. Do we have any additional questions or comments? All in favor of denial?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to deny passes.
Thank you.
Resolution item A, please, Madam Clerk.
A resolution to repeal resolution number 31479 adopted on February 21, 2023, and adopting new rules of operation for the Chattanooga City Council.
Councilwoman Dotley.
I do plan to offer an amendment, so to get it on the floor, move to approve.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to offer the amendment as stated earlier, under section 1A1, under chairperson preside at all meetings of the council, period. Chairperson pro tem shall be elected to preside at a particular meeting in the absence of the chairperson and vice chairperson pursuant to section 8.3 of the city charter, and that is in the form of a motion.
Thank you, council. Can I get a second? All right, great. We have a motion on the floor to amend. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor of the amendment? Aye. Opposed? Motion to amend passes. Can we get a motion to approve as amended, please?
Motion to approve as amended.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve as amended with the proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this is to approve as amended. Opposed? Motion to approve as amended passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, economic development, we have 3 resolutions here, B, C, and D. Madam Clerk, I'd like to take those as a package.
Item B, a resolution authorizing the Administrator of Economic Development to enter into a contract for sale and purchase with the Trust for Public Land, and substantially the form attached, for the acquisition of the real property at 1816 Gray Road, further identified as tax map number 159BA003, for the consideration of $1,350,000, and subject to approval of the Office of the City Attorney, and to execute all documents necessary to consummate the transaction with closing expenses and the reimbursement of certain acquisition or closing expenses to the Trust for Public Land for an amount not to exceed $15,000, and due diligence reimbursable expenses to the Trust for Public Land not to exceed $17,950 for a total transaction amount not to exceed $1,382,950. Item, let's see, C, a resolution amending resolution number 32783, removing the phrase confirming the surplus and renaming to only authorizing the Administrator of Economic Development to enter into a contract for sale and purchase with 51 Bricks at a Time Properties, LLC, in substantial form attached, for the acquisition of 6954 Robinson Drive, further identified as tax map number 148EA033, for the purchase price of $40,000 to execute all documents required to consummate the transaction with closing fees not to exceed $5,000, for a total transactional amount not to exceed $45,000. Item D, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic Development to enter into an agreement with Signal Centers, Inc., in substantially the form attached, to support TANF eligible parents by combining paid internships with post-secondary training to build skills, increase employment, and strengthen family stability in the amount of $94,000.
Thank you very much.
Move to approve. Second.
All right, council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item E, please.
A resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Jonathan Judd to the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals for a term beginning on February 18, 2026, and ending on February 17, 2030.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Do I have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right, moving into Public Works items, I'd like to take items F and G as a package, please.
Item F, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number W25001201 Hickson Community Center Gymnasium renovations to Curb Construction of Chattanooga, Tennessee in the amount of $90,344 with a contingency in the amount of $10,000 for a total amount of $100,344. Item G, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to execute an amended public-private partnership agreement between the city and Huron Desai 3H Group and Cy Main Huron LLC related to the Station Street alleyway expansion for reimbursement of 50% of incurred costs up to $200,000.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do I have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item H, please.
A resolution authorizing the payment to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, in accordance with Section 1048A of the consent decree for sanitary sewer overflows incurred during the period of January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2023, in the amount of $727,000.
Second.
Thank you. Council, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item I, please.
A resolution approving a new special exceptions permit for a new liquor store located at 4107 Dodge Avenue, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Councilwoman Dotley.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Before I make the motion, and I do plan to make a motion to deny, I've been advised that we would need to have Karen come up to do a presentation regarding this,
Okay.
and possibly the applicants may be able to come up to
Oh, okay.
the regular planning.
Got it. Okay, we'll do that. Thank you. So this is planning item I, the JK of America Corporation doing business as Big Papa Quick Mart application. So we're going to have a presentation from our staff, and then we will invite is the applicant present? Okay. Then we'll invite applicant up for, do we have any opposition present? So we'll give you 9 minutes to share your case.
Okay, if Logan could just forward the slides. And thank you. As you know, attached to the link for this agenda item is the RPA's report. And so I'm just going to be highlighting some of the items in that staff report and then note one additional item. So the site, next slide, please. The proposed site for the liquor store is located at 4107 Dodds Avenue. The site contains an existing convenience store with a paved parking area and then accessory residential use, detached residential use to the north of the store. Next slide. It's just a picture of the site. You can see that residential use to the right. Next slide. So the applicant's leasing a 3,200 square foot commercial building and existing structure. Adjacent land uses include the following. To the north is a vacant lot. South and east of the site are single-unit detached residence, and then west of the site is a commercial use. There's some discussion in the staff report about access and lot requirements, but we'll note that this is an existing commercial building with access to Dodds Avenue, and the Public Works Transportation Department had no concerns regarding traffic hazard or safety, and the Land Development Office has no concerns or comments. Next slide. Based on Section 5108, location and signs for liquor stores, distance requirements for parks, places of worship, schools, daycare centers, and other liquor stores apply to property zone, the corridor commercial zone. And it does have those distance requirements that we do speak about quite a bit. An RPA field review indicates there are no schools, recreational parks, or other liquor stores within 200 feet of the site. Next slide. So one of the items in the staff reports is consideration of the consistency of the proposal with the intent and purpose of this article to promote the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. In the report, we noted that the site is Zone CC, Commercial Corridor Zone. The zoning map shown there with that CC with the arrow, when there's no zoning conditions, and we noted that liquor stores are listed as a special exceptions use requiring approval from city council. The report does not note the crime data detailed by Councilman Dotley at the agenda session. And next slide, please. That is on the screen, and the next slide, just kind of zooming in on that report data. Because that was not in the report, I did provide a copy to the applicant, just so they were able to follow along with the materials, and also provided a copy of the report to the clerk to attach to the minutes of this case. And if the clerk needs another copy, I'll happily provide that after the meeting. But no other comments from me unless there's questions.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Karen, I appreciate that.
Okay, we'd like to invite the applicant up. You'll have 9 minutes on the clock to share your case and discuss your application with the council.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Myself, Jay Gandhi, and I'm actually the owner of that property, and we running the business over there. I've been on a Dodge Avenue for last 20 years. I got 2 locations. One down the street, Speed Mart with the coin laundry, and this one is Big Papa Quick Mart. We've been there for last 10 years, and we haven't had any beer underage selling ticket or nothing. We try our best to keep that place crime-free. We don't let anybody hang outside or do any kind of silly stuff over there, and we tried our best. If you come anytime, you won't find anybody hanging outside my place, and I think you're more concerned about the crime and all that. If you can pull the record from that address, where I have a business, both the business, we hardly have any time to call the police, because we try our best to not to let anybody do some silly stuff in front of our place. And other thing is as the economy is moving and that whole demographic is getting changed on Dodge Avenue, it's more Hispanic oriented place now. And there is so many Hispanic store come on the street. And in last 2 years, we feel like our numbers are getting down in a convenience store. So we thinking about doing something to bring a revenue back and keep the store. And that's why we've been applied for the liquor store for a progressive mindset. And I hope I hope any kind of support from the you to maybe let us go with the liquor store and just keep running business nicely. And I'm proud to be on that street for last 20 years and no crime or nothing. If you can take a look, that's my point, and that's all I want to say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Council, do we have any questions at this stage? All right, Councilwoman Dotley.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Madam Chair. Yes, now I am pro-development. I believe in free enterprise. I believe in small businesses. However, I've been inside your store. I lived a couple of blocks away, and when I came out, I did not smell like I did when I went in. So that, I hear what you're saying, and I believe in and you have a nice, clean store. But I said, when I went in, I did not smell like I did when I came out.
Yeah.
So.
Will you clarify what you smelled like?
Yes, I smelled like marijuana when I came out.
Okay.
That's what I mean. And so with
But if
that,
somebody
when
doing
inside the store, multiple times that I've gone to the store, because I lived a couple blocks away, I went over there to get my general snacks, my Cheetos and my sneaker. And I went over there, and same thing. You're right. It is a clean store. It is, I never seen anybody hanging out, but I know from living in that area that these things happen around your store, and they do. And to see forcible rape on here 6 times in the last year, to see all the things, and then, again, I believe in small business. I believe we should help business as much as possible. I let you talk, and I did not interrupt you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not saying it happened on your site, but it happens around your site because things that you're a part of the ecosystem that causes these problems. And you said that sales have gone down, and your solution to increasing sales is to add a liquor store. Okay. So we just need to make sure all this was on the record. We wanted to make sure that this slide was up so that it is seen. But from my standpoint, from being a resident of Eastlake, from being a patron of your store a couple of times, I didn't go back because I don't need to be coming out smelling like that. To be a patron of your store and to understand that community from a holistic perspective, knowing that a block or so over is a house that has a lot of things going on, and you're in the heart of the ecosystem that is causing this problem. And I know you want to make money, everybody do. It's the American dream, right? We just want to stack cash. But at the end of the day, as the council representative for District 7, I have to look out for the people. I have to look out for the well-being of that community. We are trying to change it. We are trying to do more code enforcement, trying to work harder on public safety. We're trying to do all these things, and adding the liquor store to this space is not going to be helpful given the information that you've seen. It does not promote the public health, welfare, and all the things that we discussed earlier. So I do plan to move to deny on this particular area. I hope your business does pick up, and I hope that you can find another way to generate that additional income. But at this juncture, I plan to move to deny on this. So that is just my statement, my comment, and I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Move to deny.
Second.
Thank you. And Mr. Attorney, would you like Councilwoman Dotley to read those reasons into the record again at this point?
Yes, I believe they're already in the record, but it wouldn't.
They are from earlier.
From earlier.
Are we good?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe you're good.
All right. Council, we have a motion on the floor to deny with a proper second. Do we have any further question or comment at this stage? All in favor of denial? Aye. Opposed? Motion to deny passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving
Thank
to
you.
purchases.
Good evening, council. I have 4 purchases recommended this evening for your approval. The first one is for Parks and Outdoors. This is a one-time purchase of lighting system for the Jim Cotton Ball Field at the Carver Community Center. This purchase will be in the amount of $250,678, utilizing the Sourcewell contract. The second one is for Parks and Outdoors. This is the third-year renewal. Excellent Lawn Care is requesting a 2.7 increase due to the cost of labor and equipment maintenance. The new estimated annual spend will be $292,718. Number 3 is for Parks and Outdoors. New blanket agreement for park signs. This will be a 4-year agreement not to exceed $60,000 annually. The award will go to Blink Marketing as the best bid. Number 4 is for wastewater. This is a one-time purchase and installation of 4 cone valves for the influent pump. This sole source purchase from Ecotech will be in the amount of $56,880.
Thank you, Debbie. Council, can I get a motion?
Second.
What would we like to do with that motion? Would we like to
Oh,
approve?
move to approve.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with the proper second. Madam Vice Chair, did you have a comment?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
All right, go ahead.
Mrs. Firth. Yay. Stand up, please. Thank you so much for Carver, for the ballpark, for the lights. When it was brought to my attention that they did not have any, I reached out to her and she got it done. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments? All in favor of approving?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving to committee reports. It sounds like I might need to start making a statement about turning off our devices before our meeting. There was a previous chair that used to do that at the top of every meeting, but I thought maybe we didn't need to do that.
You just passed your new council rules too.
Oh, we sure did. And now, because I've said that, now everything that I have will
Will go off.
here in just a minute. It keeps us humble, right? Okay, council, we're going to go around for committee reports and any other business that council would like to share. Councilman Elliott, we'll start with you tonight, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have no report,
Okay.
but I would like to make a motion to reconsider zoning case 2025-0151. Council, if you can recall, this is the case that we denied back in December, but it is an important project that has been lingering in the Highland Park community. We would like to revisit it so the community can have enough time to sit down with the developer get an idea exactly what is happening with the project and what they're rezoning, so we can get this taken care of.
And remind me the date that you hope to have this on,
March 10th.
on the agenda for March 10th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Council, we have a motion on the floor to reconsider and hear this item on March 10th with a proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion to reconsider passes. Thank you, Councilman Elliott.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Dotley?
No report.
Councilwoman Burrs?
No report.
Councilman Henderson? No report. Councilman Davis?
No report.
Councilman Harvey?
No report.
Councilman Clark?
No report.
Vice Chairwoman Knoll?
No report.
All right. We will not need to do anything with the certificate of compliance?
Based upon the action of the council to deny, we will not pass around the certificate of compliance.
Okay, so we have reached the point in our meeting where we are happy to recognize folks who are here and would like to address the council. If you are here and would like to address the council tonight, please go ahead and line up behind the podium and listen while our attorney reads the rules.
And at the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized with a microphone provided up front for that purpose. Can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority, and not upon matters that are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Do not engage in any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a whole and not towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law. And someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, please go ahead and state your name and district if you wouldn't mind.
John Wasilowski, District 9. It is right, even though it might seem unfair, that you as a city council have to deal with the consequences of decisions long before you took office. And today, what I'm referring to are the fines that were discussed tied to the consent decree for us dumping pollutants into the Tennessee River. Now, before addressing the broader issue, I actually want to acknowledge our current head of public works and previous stormwater administrator, Jeremy Wood. Their team, him and his team, is doing amazing things with our wet water equalization systems. If you look at the fines, the community should note this is from 2023. So what we've been able to pull off with that, from the best of my knowledge, even including that 500-year flood, we haven't had an incident over the last 2 years, which is good. But I do think that these wins should be short celebrated, in part because our underlying problem is going to be compounding. For every 100 square feet of building that we add to the city, a lot of times we're adding up to 150 square feet of extra impermeable space in the form of parking. If you look at a satellite view of any of our malls or previous malls, you'll notice that there's often 3 times as much land devoted to the subsidized storage of cars than there is to the building itself. Those surfaces are impermeable. They create water runoff. This strains sewer infrastructure, and as we've seen, contributes to flooding, extended sewer costs, fines, and federal oversight. And the solutions are within your authority. One, we should continue investing in bluescaping and rain-smart programs. We should encourage residents to convert their otherwise unuseful lawns into functioning stormwater storage. This makes a big difference. You can support parks and green spaces that are designed to intentionally flood, sometimes referred to as sponge parks. But perhaps the most important thing we can do is the thing that's going to take the most political courage, and we can remove mandatory parking minimums. I'm not asking you to outlaw parking. I'm not asking you to tell people to get rid of their driveway. I'm literally asking you to stop requiring it as a mandate over 90% of our city. Other southern cities have done this in North Carolina, Birmingham, Alabama, and when parking minimums are removed, parking does not go away overnight, and sometimes it's even required by banks. Ending parking minimums is both conservative and progressive within its issue. It's conservative because it gives property owners liberty over their land and small businesses opportunities they may not otherwise have, and it's progressive because it supports affordable housing and environmental resilience. It may not be politically easy, and you may not get the credit or the ribbon cutting ceremony you would with a big park, and it may not help get you reelected. But as Mayor Brandon Scott of Baltimore said, If more people were willing to do the right thing, even if it means they only had one term, our cities would be better off. Some of the best public service decisions are the ones that are least celebrated, and this is probably one of those. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joshua David Capellish. I'm an advocate for unsheltered citizens, and I'm our VFW chaplain. What is a good shepherd? Perhaps one that is good at finding lost sheep. Farming and governing and ministry share a lot in common. Most of all, it is to provide resources for growth and protection to prosper. We gather here not necessarily in thanks and blessing, but bearing the necessary burden of the torchlight of fair representative democracy, where we sometimes agree to disagree. But always find a deep sense of purpose and responsibility officially or personally to thy fellow man and woman, and that, to me, the American flag represents. Equality is actualized when we present ourselves to everyone as no better by accomplishment or title, but perhaps our status as human beings. It is a result of grace and opportunity and the courage to pursue it. We must persist. We must be willing to endure the sufferings of success. I pray to God this one prayer, that your love for all of us will always persist in a warmth from above, fitting like a glove. I wish every American had a safe, dry, warm place to sleep. Those that own buildings and homes, or who can make loans, can and will, to invest in people for humanity's sake. I pray we treat stray people as well as we do stray animals. A place for everyone to sleep, a timeout, a safe place. The greatest modern tragedy is the dissolution of productive discord. What makes democracy great is respect for one another and to follow laws, customs, and procedures to effectively engage in good governance. In this podium, I'm guaranteed 3 minutes to speak, and it's my First Amendment right, and I deeply appreciate the opportunity to do so. Thank you. We all know the feeling maybe in school when somebody cuts ahead in the lunch line. We feel violated in some helpless way, restrained perhaps by knowing that if we all cut ahead in the line, none of us would eat. In a broad sense, illegal immigration does the same. We have a safe, legal, and effective immigration process that no one gets to cut ahead. Not following laws, regulations, processes, or speaking a common language would cause problems in any country. We need to protect and restore the true American dream for blacks in our communities before they're pushed out. Cooperating with ICE will help free up existing homes in Chattanooga. And I'd like to quote Theodore Roosevelt: "The mineral wealth of the country, the coal, iron, gas, and the like, does not reproduce itself and therefore is certain to be exhausted ultimately. And wastefulness in dealing with it today means that our descendants will feel the exhaustion a generation or two before they otherwise would." That's from Forrest, 1907. We are neither the friend of the rich man as such, we are the friend of the honest man, rich or poor, and we intend that all men, rich or poor alike, shall obey the law alike and receive its protection alike. Trusts. 1902, Theodore Roosevelt. God bless you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to address the council? Council, I see no one else who is headed to the podium. We have a motion on the floor to adjourn, and we have a proper second. Do we have any questions or comments? All in favor of adjourning? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you. 5:40.